Ladies and gentlemen,
Mixmaster Mike.
ladies and gentlemen,
This is Christopher Thompson back with audio blog number 2, giving you a follow-up from yesterday's audio blog. Run down the weekend here. Had several competitors from Arkansas gyms head out to Tulsa, Oklahoma, competing in the NAGA tournament. Had a bunch of action and jiu-jitsu there. Shout out to the guys from Inferno Fitness and Martial Arts in Bentonville, Arkansas. They had about over 40 competitors competing. A lot of guys and girls bringing home medals. Also, shout out to Force MMA out of Russellville, Arkansas. Also, guys out of Fort Smith, Arkansas at Omega Jiu-Jitsu. To everybody from there is bringing home medals, competing well. Nobody sustained any injuries, anything serious. So it was a good, fun weekend. So it had unfortunate events down in Florida at Daytona, NASCAR. So they had a big wreck there. Several cars had the engines and motors. Several things up in the bleachers. A few spectators got hurt there. I don't think it is anything serious, but still unfortunate to those guys. They also continued the race today, NASCAR down at Daytona. Jimmy Johnson taking the win. Dale Earnhardt Jr. placing second. Mark Martin coming in third. Danica Patrick with her debut there at Daytona coming in 8th. So she led the race. We're also going to do a follow of the UFC 157 from last night and give you the rundown there. So the main event was Rousey versus Carmouche. If you were watching there, you watched a short but a great fight. Rousey got the first round submission via the armbar again. So Carmouche wasn't able to take it to a second or third round. I believe she done a really good job. She was unable to control the distance for any kind of striking, so they clinched up. Carmouche did get a sub attempt in the first round, almost ripped Ronda's head off. The only thing I didn't understand was when she went to the ground, Carmouche stayed on the ground and invited Rousey down there with her instead of trying to take it back to the feet. I kind of think that's where she messed up, but Rousey was able to inflict her will on her and keep her in the clinch, keep her down on the ground in a case-up position until she was able to get her armbar. She ended it a few seconds left, first round. Okay, we'll move on to the LeVar Johnson fight. That was a 3-round. I wouldn't exactly call it a battle, wouldn't call it a great fight. But it was obvious that Schaub came out. He didn't want to strike with Johnson. He wanted to get it to the ground. He didn't do a whole lot once he got him to the ground, but he was able to maintain the top position, which won him a unanimous decision at the end of the fight. Stayed in half guard most of the fight. LeVar not too active from the bottom. So he did have a little success trying to get his strikes. He was striking a little wild, landed a couple of shots, but not anything to bring the win back. So we move on here. We talk about the Josh Neer and Court McGee fight. So McGee was able to bring home the victory there. So he did a pretty good job. He came out and was strong using his kicks. A lot of strikes to the body. So I thought that helped him out a whole lot. He did a lot of damage to Neer's body. Neer wasn't able to move around a lot. Near's fighting style. He likes to stay in close and counter everything, so you don't see him jumping to the outside and back in. So he took a lot of punishment there. So Nair was able to get a little rhythm going at the end of round 1, and part of round 2. Actually gave round 2 to Nair, because I felt that he finished the round strong. He done a little damage. Corey got tired at the end of the second round, which was bad for him. He was able to recover in the third round. So he came out, continued with landed punches and bunches, which I think they earned him the third round. Actually, scored McGee winning 29-28. Most of the judges, I believe, they gave him a 30-27. So it was a unanimous decision. So move on, talk about the Koscheck fight here. One that I thought was really good. Koscheck come out and was doing what he needed to do. Clinching, putting him up against the fence, executing takedowns. So Lawler claims that Koscheck wasn't that heavy on him and that he didn't feel any threats, none by power. Felt he was able to get up. One thing I didn't understand was when Koscheck was on the ground, he stayed in turtle position, hung out there too long. That's when Lawler dropped down the shots on him and ended the fight by the TKO in the first. I was actually surprised at the stoppage. I thought it may have been a little bit early. I mean, he took a good shot there. Had his head bobbing off the canvas there for a second, but I felt Koscheck was on his way up. He's used to taking heavy blows like that anyway. I didn't think he was knocked out totally. But he'll live again to fight another day. So to move on, talk about the Faber fight just a little bit. Yeah, I was surprised slightly by Faber. He came out with his old style aggression here and pressed the action in the fight. So he didn't just stand there and dance around his opponent as he done in his last few fights. He actually stayed in his fight, stayed in Menjivar's face, closed the distance. So he didn't give him any breaks. He got him on the ground and done the damage that he needed to do, forced Menjivar to respond. So he was able to climb up on Menjivar, get his back, and sink in an old school style WEC kind of choke. Those guys in the WEC were classic for that. Lightweights climbing up on each other, choking each other out. So we move on to the Machida and Hendo fight, which everybody calls it a boring fight. I can see Machida's style. Maybe a little bit of boring, but he came in there and he actually forced Hendo to fight his fight, which that was not good for Hendo. I did see a little bit of game plan. He came in the first round and throwing the leg kicks, trying to push Machida back towards the cage. I kind of felt like he was trying to jab and leg kick him to get him moving back and clinch with him and go for the takedown. But he never did close the distance. Wasn't able to ever get in there and clinch with him so he could go for a takedown and get him on the ground, or press him against the cage to do any kind of significant damage to take him out of the fight. So Henderson even said in the press conference he felt he wasn't aggressive enough and actually was forced to fight Machida's fight. He said he wished he'd have been more aggressive, but just didn't work out like that. So I guess we'll see Machida with that title shot next. We'll see how that goes. And we'll wrap it up there. Next weekend, be March 2nd. We have UFC on Fuel TV. A few of the fights I'll be interested in is the main event, Stan versus Silva. We'll also see Hunt versus Struve, Gummy versus Sanchez, Okami versus Lombard. So we may be back with another audio blog. So we'll see how it goes. Till then, I'm out of here.